Where we going with it? Now where we going with it? Where we going with it? What? Where we going with it? Yo, where we going with it? Where we going? Going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time.
How many years?
About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. I'm going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time.
How many years?
About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. I seen kingdoms come and I seen kingdoms fall. You could check it for yourself, you could read it on the wall. Like graffiti on the wall, metal nets is what it's called. I taught y'all in the past, now I'm back to teach you all how to elevate and repent from filthy ways. I know it's hard, but it feels good to fast for 30 days. I got y'all searching for the land that's across the burning sands, where the men turn into gods and the gods turn into men. The jewel of the Nile is in the motherland. Each one teach one, so go tell your brother, man. You're feeling down, then you got to snap back like a rubber band. Lord, going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time.
How many years?
About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. I'm going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time.
How many years?
About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. Hey. All the words I chant when I come forth by day. From the night, these sacred chapters I recite. Do my voodoo every day till I feel some things are right. Speaking in words of power, speakers get blown. Ancient tradition, deep in your bones. Ancient wisdom, speaking in poems. Melodies take you deep in the zone. I'm going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time.
How many years?
About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. I'm going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time.
How many years?
About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. Too many youth wanna ride and die. I try to tell them about the I and I. In my presence, I got y'all feeling divine essence. I come through dropping jewels that's full of timeless lessons. Not Egyptian, I'm comedic, spitting poetic relics from the highest mind. Look to the skies to find where I am headed. I come when I be spitting, y'all be player hating me. I don't know, probably cause I'm serious like A and B. And C, we alike sometimes more than we would like. I got the gift of gab, I was born to speak on mics. Got raw in me glowing, now I shine like skies in Cali. I represent the hood and that hood is the Nile Valley. They call it Hoppy, the illest of the niggas. Nah, that's not me, I'm that golly representative. Spit the hottest sentences with the eye for rule. I see the evil that lurks in you. I live by 10 virtues that stops me from hurting you. I use oracles, so nowadays I plan better. Now I walk in the presence of God's angels and ancestors, walking my path, speaking in code, talking in math. I got an inner divinity, mental serenity. I walk in my eye, even on my path alone. And in his zone, man, I got heart like Indiana Jones. I'm not a raider, but a raiser of the lost ark, the monarch of a righteous covenant. You ain't liking it, you loving it. I show y'all sacred ways from the ancient of days. The metaphysical master manifesting the greatest displays of might control. Connect the spirit, mind, and the soul. I rhyme with flows that opens up your mind so you grow like the trees, but of course not the kind that you smoke, but the kind that keeps you rooted in tradition. I bring it back like how it was in the beginning. Going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time.
How many years?
About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack. I'm going back to Kemet, styling, profiling. It's been a long time.
How many years?
About 3,000. Man, we got to bring it back. The days and times of living is getting whack.
Paradigm Shift TV 314. DMG the poet. The best. Trust me. Any type of knowledge you need, anything you want to see, Check them out. Paradigm Shift TV 314. Peace.
Hey, look. Labels blowing up my line and got me missing calls. Told her you ain't gotta hit me till you licking. Feel like Xavier, baby, I be cooler than the mink weather. Make a Coke bottle, give me brains till I think better. Back up on my again, hanging out with Benjamin. Franklin got me stankin' in the Lincoln, talking dividends. Look at what we did again. Brought the
Welcome to Paradigm Shift TV 314. This is your brother, the infamous DMG the Poet, aka Brother Pianki. And today we got a powerful show with a powerful guest. This is a Paradigm Shift TV 314 original. I call him the Warrior Scholar. I call him Metu the God. Now I call him the Warrior Seba. He is a premier comedic saber in the comedic community. My brother, please reintroduce yourself to the Paradigm Shift TV 314 audience.
Peace, my brother. Hotel. That was a beautiful intro. I love that. That was nice. I said, wow, who did that? That was cold. I like that amalgamation of that. I'm like, that was, because a lot of that I ain't seen in a while. That is real refreshing. That's dope. That's dope.
No doubt.
Reintroduce myself to everybody. My name is Metu Hotel Jallow or Metu Jallow for short. Comedic Saber. I support anything that's black and progressive that's going to move our people forward, regardless of the religious ideology. I am for you as long as you for me. I disseminate information. I always try to keep my receipts on me. I study Nile Valley culture. I love to study. I mean, I'm a bookhead. I got a bunch of book references so y'all can be able to go and research what I'm saying, because I don't want you to believe me. I want you to just go look it up yourself and you become the judge, jury of the information of your own. A lot of us are used to people saying, believe me. Don't believe nothing I'm saying. Go look it up. Don't get mad. Get smart and start researching.
No doubt. And so y'all know, family, before we get into our spiel, I got to do my usual greeting. So let me say, God bless to all my Christian brothers and sisters. Hotep, to all my comedic brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum, to all my brothers and sisters in the NOI. Islam, to all my Moorish brothers and sisters. Peace, to all my brothers and sisters in the nation of gods and earth, them 5%ers. Let me say what's up to all my atheist brothers and sisters. Shout out to all my Abo brothers and sisters. I want to say a big shout out to all my Rasta brothers and sisters. Last and certainly not least, I want to say Jumbo to the rest of my brothers and sisters all throughout the African diaspora, be it here in the wilderness of the United States of America or beyond. Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you black, I'm with you, and I hope you with me. Our different ideologies should not keep us from uniting. We can have unity without uniformity, and we can disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. With that being said, my man Metu.
Yeah, but your background look dope. Your hat with your shirt, the aesthetics. Man, I'm jealous, man. That's dope. That's phenomenal.
I got you know who I got to thank for it. It's you. So, number one,
just
the
logo.
Coordinate.
That's
hey,
of you.
If I may, any logo you see on Paradigm Shift TV, it was made by this man. Now, how I'm able to coordinate it, I just try to rock it out as best I can. But if you see a logo, my man made it. If you see a video, my man more than likely made. It's either him or me. So, but more than likely, if it got that more professional touch to it, like the intro y'all just seen, he made it. So he been doing that since the channel started.
Yeah,
so
I'm an OG.
If we don't put his information in here before the show over with, if you need something graphically or video wise or intro or anything, hit this man up. He the best in the business.
I'm OG to the channel. I've been in and out, but those that's looking at my head like, what does he got on his head? My name is Metu Hotep Jallow. Jallow means that I'm a member of the Fulani tribe of West Africa, Gambia, to be Pacific, but they all over their nomads. And this is a Fulani hat. So whenever you see this, you'll know this is a Fulani hat, and I'm just representing my tribe, the Fulani tribe. I'm a Jallow. Jallow means you're Fulani.
So, and speaking of that, because you just spoke to your West African heritage, right?
Yes.
So, but you're a Kemetic Seba. You teach the Kemetic tradition.
Right.
What do you say to people who say because you follow the Kemetic tradition or you teach the Kemetic tradition that you think you are from a descendancy aspect from ancient Kemet?
Well, the tradition of ancient Kemet was spread around the world. Because even when you look at India, India was called most, depending on who you're talking to in India, they'll tell you that that's the Indus Kush Valley. So the Kushite brothers that created the Kemetic society brought everything you see in India when it comes to Vishnu, uh, Hanuman, all the deities that was in India that spread all the way to China, that went around the world, came from the Nile Valley. So when the Africa started to evolve, we, just like our brother Dr. Clark said, when we got our show together, we took it on the road. So everywhere you will see bits and pieces of our culture. I just happened to embrace I had a chance to go to West Africa, and the tribe they're called the Fulani said, they said to me, "You a Fuller." Never heard that before. Like, what's a Fuller? No, I'm thinking they said full of. They said Fuller, Fula. And they adopted me. They was like, "You a Fulani." So they gave me the name Jallow. A lot of them are Muslim because of the Arab slave trade. Some of them are Christian because of the Christian slave trade. A lot of them still got their culture still intact. So it was a brother that my biological brother that met that when he went over there as well. His name is Mamadou Diallo. He gave my brother an Islamic name, Ibrahim, and he wanted to give me an Islamic name. I said, "Nah, I'd rather keep Metu Hotel because it's older than Islam. I'll embrace Jallow as the Fulani because it's important to have a culture." Our brother Asa Hilliard said, "We are in a cultural war. If we lose the cultural war, we lost it all. Because if money was our problem, we don't have a problem. Our problem is culture. And try to embrace other people's culture outside of our own."
And so for you, you don't see a contradiction in teaching you know this all over the continent.
Right. Yeah, because I embrace all of it. I embrace because we, as what I call, a lot of people would call us as new Africans. We want all of Africa, not just part of it.
Right.
Because it's the Berlin Conference of the 1800s that broke up Africa. So we don't respect those borders, those European borders. So we embrace all of Africa. So my full name is a Pan-African name because it unifies North, West, South, and Central Africa. It's Metu Hotep Ma'at Kweku Yahuru Jallow Lawazi Sinzana Kona Sarah. So I'm embracing. I don't want to separate and say, "Oh, I'm just a Fulani." We're not just Fulani. We're not just Igbo. We're not just South Africans. We're a holistic people, and that's the mind that we had to bring together with our people, other than separating us based off Europeans' mindset. And our brother Michael Meck said that in order to be an alien culture, you got to live out your own.
So, how long have you been embracing this Pan African ideology as opposed to settling for the European mindset? Because you started out pretty young.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people, because I jumped off the porch pretty early. What happened was I was a devout Christian. I was gonna be the next Kirk Franklin. I had like 60 to 70 something songs wrote. It was ready to be recorded. I was a youth minister at the last church I was at up until the mid 2007. So around 2007, I started to hear some stuff that was contradicting what I thought I knew, and I started to read. And then one of the best books I read is called "The Book Your Church Don't Want You to Read." Is God Dead or Just Your Church? So I started looking, and it just was hitting me with all this information. I started looking at zeitgeist, esoteric agenda, and I started looking and trying to find the the truth behind it. Because a lot of times people will say, Metu, why are you looking for errors in the Bible? I tell them, it's not why am I looking for them, it's why am I finding it? Why am I finding all of this stuff? So I'm start finding things about Adam and Eve, start finding stuff about Noah, Nebuchadnezzar, from the whole entire Bible. So I did what a lot of people do. I went from Christianity and I jumped into Islam. Started studying Islam. And I was really heavy with it real hard. And then I started seeing errors in that. I started seeing some stuff that just wasn't right. See, now the thing is, once you crack a person's head to start thinking, you can't just tell us no anything. Just because I'm jumping from a religion to another religion, I'm starting seeing like, wait a minute, that don't add up. So what they say now, the math wasn't mathing.
The math wasn't math.
I started realizing that within the religions, all of them have the same thread. So as I started looking to see where it come from, Christianity didn't start in Africa. That's what a lot of people keep getting it, saying it came from Africa. The components that went into making Christianity came out of Africa, but the religion itself didn't. It's like if I was to come over to your house and get a wheel and go get us, just get pipes, just get some things to create a bike. The bike didn't come from your house. What made the bike came out of your house. So when I started looking at ancient Kemet, I started studying the Per Em Heru. I started looking at the Book of Ptahhotep. I started looking at these ancient books that were older than the Bible. I didn't know anything was any different. As a matter of fact, when I was a Christian, I really didn't care nothing about the plight of black people because my thing was Jesus is coming. Why even worry about what's going on when there's going to be this Savior going to crack the cloud and wait on what we're supposed to be waiting on? And then I started realizing that we're the Savior. You're God having a human experience. Now that takes the accountability on myself. See, religions relinquish you of accountability. All you got to do is just go to church, believe, pray, pay, and you say, but our ancestors of the Nile Valley said, salvation is accomplished through the deeds of the individual. So it's what you do, not what you believe, that brings character. So I started to embrace my art, and then all the stuff that Christians say that they go through when they become Christian, that people don't want to be around you, your family talk about you. All that stuff didn't happen until I left Christianity, and relationships fell apart. You know, I remember a woman, she told me, if you don't believe in Jesus, you don't believe in this relationship.
So let me ask you that then. When you embrace the Kemetic tradition, it affected your relationship with your family members in a negative way.
Family members, with girlfriends I was talking to at the time, because now I'm saying that we're accountable for the things that we do. Now you can't just throw it on, or the devil made me do it, or everything that happened to me that was good, God did it. That type of stuff. I'm like, no, wait a minute, this is not the math ain't math. So I started showing, because there was a girl I was talking to, she was a Christian, I was a Christian. I was showing her this statue, the image of what's known as Serapis, Serapis. And I was showing, I was saying, sweet, who is this? She not knowing what it is. That's Jesus. Like, nah, that's not him. So I was showing it to other people. I'm going around showing Serapis, and there's another image of a guy by the name of Apollonius of Tyana. If you all look that up, you'll see the same image of Jesus. All they did was just morph it into Jesus. It came from other things. It's an amalgamation of other people's culture. And then when I saw that, I said, wow, even what ended up happening is I started looking at the what's known as the Black Heritage Bible. And all it is the same white stuff, black. So it's almost like if I'm allergic to a strawberry and you dip it in chocolate and give it to me, I'm still allergic to it. What happens is,
Hold on. You run that analogy back one more time. I gotta hear that.
I'm allergic to a strawberry, and you see me apprehensive of the strawberry, but they did was just dipped it in chocolate and gave it back to me. I'm still allergic to it.
Hey, that, hey,
So all I saw with the Black Heritage Bible being the strawberry dipped. It still endorses slavery. It still talks about killing people. It's still talking about rape. It's still talking about exploitation. As a matter of fact, everywhere in the world, any that Christianity is dominant at, you see gambling, raping, stealing, whoremongering, all those things that they say you shouldn't do or practice on those nations that practice Christianity. So I just had to just step back, reevaluate this thing without fear, because the thing that keep people Christians is fear. They don't, that's what keeps them from. So once I understood that, I broke away and then I started saying, fear meaning false evidence appearing real. Once I got the evidence, once you really see for yourself, that's why I implore people to take a trip to Africa. Matter of fact, even if you don't go to Africa, I implore you to take a trip to Bethlehem. Take a trip to these biblical places and you'll see like, whoa, wait a minute. You'll see the contradictions even there.
let me ask you this. So, how long did you study Islam before you realized that wasn't it for you either?
Well, I studied Islam for about 2-3 years, but what happened was I was getting into the nation because I was looking at the Orthodox Islam. There's really no such thing as Orthodox because it's Greek. But when I started looking at the nation, they got the thing called processing. So I'm already indoctrinated of Pan Africanism and Kemetic science. I'm already pretty keen to that after I left Christianity. Little echoes of it. But in the letter that you have to write to get your X in a nation, one of the first letters it says in there, Master Farad Muhammad. Nothing in my body will allow me to write Master Farad Muhammad. That's what worried me. I couldn't. My fingers would cramp up, and the movie like, what's wrong with me? I just could not write. I'm like, why don't we say Master Elijah Muhammad? But they, Master Marcus.
Hey, you know what? That would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it?
But my hand just wouldn't let me get to Master. So I just like, I like y'all, because really what Islam is nothing but black nationalism with Islam. It is Islam with a sprinkle of black nationalism, because Islam was really specifically made for the black man and woman in America, for our particular position.
Meaning the NOI, you mean?
Right. That's just like the nation. Yeah, the Nation of Islam, for those that didn't know what NOI means. But it's just like with the Panther Party. When Huey and Bobby started the Panther Party, it was only specifically for what's going on in Oakland. They didn't know that same problem was going on in the rest of the world. That's why everybody started piggybacking on it, because they're like, oh, because it was originally just for the police brutality in Oakland. They didn't know that we was going through it in St. Louis and in Chicago and New York. So it just started to grow because we started seeing a line that hit everybody else the same way.
Okay. And so, getting away from the NOI, how did you come into the Kemetic tradition, and how did you meet one of the baddest men on the planet, Baba Seba or Maurice Senefa?
Okay. I left Islam, but then I started looking at the Nawabian nation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I started looking at the teachings of Dr. Malachi York.
Okay.
All of it sounds real good. I was learning the language, getting together. I said, man, this looks real nice. And then I met a sister that was actually teaching me step by step the language. It's called Nuwapu, and I was learning more about the diets. I was learning a lot about the teachers of Malachi York, and things were looking well. But what happened was, I saw an interview that someone had with our peace be upon my great grandmaster teacher by the name of Dr. Yosef Ben Yakana, better known as Dr. Ben. So when Dr. Ben was in the hospital, they was asking him about Malachi York, and he said himself out of his own mouth that Dr. York tried to assassinate him and Dr. John Henry Clark. When I heard that, I said, "Oh, all right, let me backpedal this thing, because if you try to kill Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark, one of the primary black nationalist teachers, I gotta kind of question you." And then I start seeing some stuff. The math wasn't mathing with that. Then I end up getting, I started being associated with the Hebrew Israelites, and that was all right. That was cool, but I'm like, y'all you still Christian. Like, wait a minute, this looked the same as what I was. We black Christians. And I'm like, nah, it sounds like some other stuff that just wasn't making sense to me. And I ended up meeting. I started bringing people here in 2012. The first person I brought here was a brother named Kabaha Wafa Kamane. Brother Kaba, phenomenal brother. And that's where I meet. That's where I met Baba Seba, Amari Sneferu. Started meeting, and a lot of stuff I was doing, I didn't know he was like an integral part of it. He was always there. And we started to link up. So we've been talking and on building with each other since 2012. And I started to learn more, and I started seeing a lot of people fall out, because they have discretions about certain things. It's like, if one person is doing something wrong, you don't blame everybody. We don't even do that with businesses. If one Walmart in Berkeley don't do you right, you just go to the one in Clayton. We will always find an excuse to still shop with them. But when it comes to us, one black barber do you wrong, you ain't messing with no black barber. If one Pan African doing something wrong, we ain't messing with no Pan African. But we don't say that about Christianity. It was interesting, because we'll see somebody get molested at this church, we just go to another church. Something going wrong in a mosque, we just go to another mosque. It's only when it's something that's specifically for black people, that's designed for us, that we put the scrutiny on. So I just started to stay in, because it made sense to study the laws of my art. I say, we start studying, we can, because it's really for self. We can really do better for ourselves. And then start seeing it doing better with my life. Even though people was leaving it, I saw why. Because I wasn't part of the clique. Because Allah needs an army. The truth stands by itself. So we want that army. But we got to understand that you can have a truckload of faith and a handful of fact. And that handful of fact will outweigh that truckload of faith. So I started to learn and started to travel and start seeing how these things are working, because I didn't know that there were other committed people. And I just fell in love with it and embraced it, because it makes sense. Nothing about it is evil, because even when they talk about there were slaves in Egypt, it's impossible for there to be slaves in Egypt when the foundation of ancient Kemet was Ma'at. That's slavery is anti-Ma'at. So why would they practice something that's against their moral compass? So I started to see how they were lying about this, they lied about that. And I started seeing nothing but lies. So everything that I thought I knew, I literally had to throw it, all of it in the trash. I mean, all of it. Even when it comes to everything, I just threw it all in the trash and just started over. And it's just like now, if you was to throw every Bible in the trash, but every Bible, throw it in the trash and come back 50 years later, no one would know anything about the Bible. But when it comes to science and truth and facts, you can throw everything in the trash, even the truth. When you come back, the truth still stands. It's still that. It's still the same.
And I know meeting Amari had a huge impact on you. How did you meet the illustrious, or how long after you met Amari, I should say, was it before you met the illustrious Queen Mother of the Temple of Het Heru herself?
Well, when I met Queen Mother, actually I was a part of a church here in St. Louis called the African Village and Cultural Center, So I joined the
Okay.
African Village in 2007, around the same time I was leaving Christianity.
And just so everybody know, who was the head of that?
Say it again.
I say just so everybody know who was the head of the African Village.
Dr. Ray Higgins.
Okay.
Dr. Ray Higgins was over the African Village. So even when I got on his show, it was just amazing. And one thing he told me was, he said, if you can prove me wrong, and this is the key statement that really changed my entire life. He said, if you can prove me wrong on anything that I say, I will pay your bills for the rest of my life. So when he said that, when I was a star Christian, I said, bet that. Let me see. And ever since I've been digging. The rabbit hole just kept getting deeper. I'm like, well, that ain't gonna happen. And so I joined the African Village, even though I was still in dealing with the nation, I was just at the African Village. It was a place to go to congregate about this information. So I met Annie Torre, a Queen Mother, at the African Village, and that was back in 2007. So I've been knew her for
Good.
a long time.
Let's go ahead and Any Teray Aset Akua Kitty Haru. The whole Queen Mother Any Teray Aset Akua Kitty Haru. That we gotta put some respect on it.
Right.
So, but go ahead. I just wanted to make sure we said that whole name.
Yeah. So when I met her, she was had a program for the kids. She really passionate about education and the kids getting this information. So I was helping her with that. And then I was trying to do my own thing. So now I'm actually rapidly learning. I'm learning more than people that's been at the village for years. So I'm coming to them with books they never heard of. I was like, man, have you ever heard of Chancellor Williams? You ever heard of John G. Jackson? Have you ever heard of Dr. John Henry? I'm just naming people, and a lot of people there was like, they almost had this Christian mindset of whatever Ray tells us to read, we're gonna read that. They never really branched off. I branched off because I'm like, if they gonna tell me a lie about this, what else they lie to me about? So I want to learn everything. So I became a DVD junkie. I was buying DVD. I was just buying so many DVDs. Dr. Khalid Muhammad, to Delbert Blair, to Renoku Rashidi, to Dr. David M. Hotep, to Metu Attar, to Oba Tashaka. You name it, I was in it. I was just drenching myself with so much information. And it just became overwhelming. So I'm like, I need to learn this from more and more people. And then when I met Baba Seba Morris Neferu, he didn't have the Temple of Heteru. The Temple of Heteru came later. Because I was with him when he started. It was called the Underground Railroad. So I was with him from the beginning of that. So I'm an OG dealing with him, and also OG with the Paradigm Shift TV 314. So I've been involved with every aspect of Black movement in here in the state of St. Louis, in St. Louis, Missouri, and in Illinois. Everything that's progressive, I was there. I was at the meetings. I was at the protests. People know me. I've just been there. People thought that everybody that's in my circle are older than me. They're elders. And people like, man, I thought you were older than that. I'm like, no, I'm just, every time you talk to me, you actually talking to my elders. Because I'm listening to what they say. I'm learning underground information that no one knew. Well, I ended up learning Tai Chi. I learned Tai Chi 2 years from a brother. His name was Kwame. He was actually one of the best friends of Chairman Fred Hampton. So when I would go over to his house, he would tell me, he always would refer him to Chairman Fred. So he would tell me about what had happened and what was going on with the Panther Party from his perspective. And it was like, why they didn't put that in the TV? Why wasn't that put out in the information? So even like when you look at the movie Black Panther, we did things, in West Africa that trumps even that movie. There's a lot of stuff we was doing. We don't know anything about head pressure. There's one who's a phenomenal scientist that when the Europeans found out about it, they skinned her alive in public. We don't know anything about Mansa Musa. We don't know anything about Emperor Shaka Zulu. Even the Nile Valley, you can even look at Kosh Kush, what was going on in South Africa. Phenomenal works, the Moors, all this information. Then I started looking at the Moor Science Temple. That's the difference between the Moor Science Temple and the historical Moors. That's the two different things from the teachings of the Noble Drew Ali and the historical Moors, that the Africans that came and civilized Europe. So I started to see it, and it just started expanding, expanding, expanding. It was a phenomenal trip.
Okay. Okay.
And one thing that I learned is the more that I learn, the more you learn, the more you learn. You got more to learn.
The more you realize you don't know. Yeah, yeah. I feel you on that.
Right, and this is a song by our sister, Lauren Hill. I don't know if she knew what she was saying, but it's an ancient phrase. When you say it in English, the phrase is "everything is everything." That's a fact. Everything is everything. Everything you exist, everything we know and see, is one thing manifested in its own little way. So we are trees as a person. I'm the ocean as a person. See, with that type of ideology, you don't just throw stuff on the ground because you need to eat from the ground. You don't just pollute the earth because you need that to breathe. The Europeans came with the concept of have dominion. So once you have dominion, you don't look at things as sacred. You look at things as this is mine and territorial. But Africans knew how to have harmony with things because we knew that these animals and these places that we are can teach us how to live in that particular ecology.
Yeah. You know what? One of the things that I liked is when when my comedic teachers would say an ocean is a multitude of drops. And if you take a drop from the ocean, it's the same substance as the ocean, but just not the same magnitude. And just signifying that we all are part of the one, so to speak. That was one of those things that I liked about, that teaching, kind of unifying everybody under one, one accord and one vibration. Let me ask you this. Uh Shout out to my man Judah Nash in the building. Hey Judah, we definitely gotta get that interview popping too, bro. We definitely gotta get that going. Uh I'm gonna hit you up on Facebook and see when we can get that rescheduled. Shout out though. Uh what do you think of the concept of there is only one being in existence? And I got a reason for asking you that.
Yeah, that's what our ancestors have been telling for countless hundreds of thousand years. Everything that you see is one thing manifested in everything. We called it nature, and from the ancient tradition, nature. That's the origin of the word nature. Nature is everything. So from your blood to your, I remember our brother Dick Gregory said, when you have a heart attack, what did you do to make your heart attack you? It's part of you. Why is all of a sudden it's attacking you? So we have to learn to just put ourselves. See, there's a phrase that people say now. They say, "I do for you if you do for me." But the new phrase really should be, "I do for me for you as long as you do for you for me." That would make
It's
more sense other than you do for you and I do for me.
is there, and I don't know if it is, I'm not saying that it is, but is there any connection between that concept and the concept of Ubuntu um, in Africa?
Yes, it's everything that, as I say, everything is part of. Everything is interconnected. There's no God that's outside of anything that's outside of you is alien. But there's nothing outside of you. Once you understand self, there is no fear of anything else because everything you see is part of you.
So now that brings me to a more controversial question.
Okay.
How do we, in the concept that we are all part of the one, how do we account for uh, the enslaver? or the European? Are they also encompassed in that one?
Yes, because he's just a part of you that you didn't know you had. The condition wasn't there to make him until the condition came. It's like some people go to prison, they don't know that they're claustrophobic until the condition came. You didn't know that you were claustrophobic because you never had to be confined in the one room. So when the Grimaldis, the Africans that went into Europe and got caught up in the what's known as the Warm and Ice Age, there was a condition that created this European. You didn't never had that condition until recently. And matter of fact, the world is healing itself of it now because they're at a negative birth rate right now. That's why you see a lot of stuff going on. I tell people go read the ISIS papers by Dr. Francis Kurzweil, and also there's another book by a guy named Patrick Buchanan. It's called the Death of the West. See, a lot of them know there's also a good group of Europeans called the Preppers, and it's about preparing. They know it's something gonna happen. They just don't know what, they don't know when, but they know that it's gonna happen. We're the ones that still caught up in if it's gonna happen. They know that it will happen, so they've already been prepared for it. So that's why we have to get prepared. Matter of fact, you don't even have to be conscious of what's getting ready to happen. All you have to do is have all senses alert and walk outside. You can feel something big is getting ready to happen. Like there's a big regime change. You can't explain it, but you can tell just in the atmosphere something is getting ready to change.
Man. So okay, so now let us know what the warrior Seba has been up to. I know you done taught a few lessons. I was trying to make it down to catch them live. I'm hoping you can start recording. So like I don't know if you can put them on Facebook, put them on YouTube.
I started,
but I heard you've been putting your demonstration down, man, a few times.
Oh yeah,
I heard you've been doing your thing. So
yeah, a lot of people have been telling me over the years you need to start videotaping. I'm like, man, because there's like people that's been wanting me to write a book, but I'm just an orator. I'm a traveler. I'm like an evangelist. I travel with the information, but I actually introduced the new math and a new calendar. So
give me
like,
1 second, bro. I gotta salute the Queen Mignette in my Aunt Mentor. I call her the Queen. She come on, put down her demonstration on paradigm shift from time to time. It's been a minute since she's been on, but she'll actually be on in a few weeks, and we're gonna be tackling a few things. So shout out to the Queen.
Peace to the Queen. So I came up with a new way of looking at math, from the numbers to the letters and how we can count. I came up with a new way of doing it. Then when I did the lecture, people loved it. I didn't know it was because what happened was when I came up with the concept, I was dating a woman at the time, and she had 2 boys. So they normally just run around the house.
Is that the sister on the continent, or
no, it was a woman, an American raised woman?
Okay.
So I was like, I came up with it, and I started teaching her sons, who would normally just running around the house, and they loved it. It kept them sitting down. They was real interested, throwing their hand in the air. They were just loving it. So I'm like, okay, if I can teach this to teenagers, let me see if I can teach this to younger children. And I would start teaching them to younger children. They was loving. I mean, they were just captivated on how I was able to put these letters together. So I kind of kept that in my back pocket for a while. So eventually, I was like, let me see if I can teach this to adults. Because if you can teach children, you can teach adults. Because a lot of adults are just little grown children. Thanks. So I started teaching them. Oh, let me get my camera off a little bit. So I started teaching the adults, and they loved it. Everybody in there was like, wow, you need to teach more. But one brother told me, I'm taking into consideration what he said, because he was like, you don't need to be recording this because we need to have something that's specifically for us. Because everybody have a thing that's just for them. We need to have this mathematical genius that you're disseminating specifically for us. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not a hoarder of information. I want the world to get this information. And they loved it. And then I was also taught. I started teaching about what happens when you make your ancestral transition from an African perspective. What did it mean? What happens when you die? Because there's no such thing as death. Death is an illusion. And I've started to just break it down, and a lot of stuff that, as you say, you've been wanting to come to, people just been captivating it. And some people like, man, you should have been teaching this a long time ago. And people been like, oh man, you need to do more of this. They was more captivated by the way I'm just sharing the information. But in time we'll see.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, and if you got any of your lectures on video, hey, feel free to send them to me. I know you tried to send me one, but I wasn't able to play it because I was going to upload it to the channel. But yeah, if you got any that you don't mind me uploading and showing to the family, feel free, man. I'll pop them on. So
yeah, like when it comes to like the new math numbers I love to have a time on the channel when I'm actually doing it on here, so y'all can see, because it looks weird because it's something new, but it makes so much sense. You're like, oh, okay. And people grab it quick, because I thought that people was gonna take a while. Some people was like, I need more of that. They was thirsty, because really, like back in the day, people don't know. I used to be a poet. I was like I was like you, brother.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So what people didn't, what my poetry was different. What it was that I'll get you to the point to where you want to know more, and then I'll stop. Like, man, come on, you stop. Because I would get you to the pinnacle of getting excited about what I'm saying. And I'm like, all right, y'all, I'm done. You're like, come on, man.
I do that too. I do that too, but that's more like a thing I do with my wife. You know what I mean? But I never mind. I'm tripping. Go ahead. My bad, bro.
Yeah, but I like to keep people anticipating the next time I speak.
No doubt.
I would do little poetry things, and people just like, man. So I was, because as I said, I was just coming out of the vein of writing music for Christianity. So writing a poem really was nothing. And then just seeing the hardship of our people, seeing how we're just getting whooped on a global scale, I just kind of changed my focus. Because, like, for an example, a lot of people don't know that Coretta Scott King was a dancer. She wanted to dance. She wanted to be a dancer, but she took that away. Decided to support her husband with the civil rights movement. A lot of us had other things that we wanted to do. We just sacrificed that to try to empower our people. But I think that we need to really bring that back, because a lot of times, like I remember this one brother who made his ancestral transition. I literally used to go over his house and teach him for 5 years straight, and did not know that this brother was a defense attorney. You don't know who you talking to. You like, you never told me. You never asked. You said, wow, I learned more from you than I did when I was in college. I said, wow. I taught him more. I'm like, as a defense attorney. He said, brother, if you ever have a trial or any type of legal situation, I do it for you for free, pro bono. He said, you taught me so much information.
Speaking of, man, talk about our brother and our elder, our brother Nasu, and our elder Rennie Unk. Talk about the impact they had on you, and what you was able to pull from them in terms of pushing your people forward in power. I think about them from time to time.
Oh yeah, I do too, and a few others. There's a couple others.
Yeah,
there and
yeah.
But when it comes to those two, when I met Rennie Unk, he was processing for the Nation of Islam. So this was like 2014, just doing the Mike Brown thing.
Brother Jehudi as well. Brother,
Oh yeah, good brother. I've been knowing Jehudi for a long time. But let's go to the two that you just mentioned. So I met Rennie Unk in 2014 doing the Mike Brown thing. So he was talking about processing because he was just he had a hard life. up until that point, on dope and alcohol, all the ills that the white man has employed on us, and being in an abusive relationship, and just was on a whole bunch of negative vibes. So he decided at the tail end of his life, he wanted to change his trajectory. And he met me. We started talking. He was like, "Wow, bro!" He was just a long way for me to know so much at a young age. And he would just hit me with questions. And every time he hit me with a question, I'm hitting him with it. He was like, "What?" So I remember one day as we were talking, I said, "Shit." He was shocked, like, "Oh, you curse?" I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Because this is the thing I learned with our people is, when it comes to our people, you one or two things: either you ain't shit or you everything.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
never human in between.
It's hard to be in between, man.
Either you the shit to me or you ain't shit to me.
Right. You're
So
right.
if people look up to you, they don't expect no error. It's like I can
Hey,
be a good person, but I might not show up on time. But that was
exactly. Don't make a mistake.
yeah, not see. But this is the thing: expectations is the parent of disappointment.
Mm,
And there's an old phrase that says you never want to meet your idol because you'll
facts.
realize they're good. Because I talk to people, even to this day, it's still funny to me. People that have been knowing me for years, there's people will be introduced to me like, what music you like listen to? What do you like to eat? Like I'd never been through this shit. I'm like, I used to believe in that. Say, oh man, no, I know you didn't. I'm like, bro, yes, I was there. It just I jumped off the porch early. I jumped off early. I just had the whole bunch of experience. So we would talk, we'll meet up, we would laugh about a whole bunch of stuff. He like, man, bro, so he was just really just amazed about the amount of information that I was having and things I've traveled and been able to remember. I'm like, bro, I actually forgot more than I know. You might think I know a lot, but I forgot a lot more than that. And then I was showing documentaries, and he was just loving it. So, you know, made a brother collaborate with the ancestors. Rennie Unk, he changed his name to Rennie Unk, and
Maybe
then I also
Wakaru. That,
yeah,
hey, it always, man, when somebody will say something that he thought was powerful, and he'll be like,
mm,
man, that
yeah,
was, hey,
because
man,
actually he got that when he went to the mosque, because that's how they talk in the mosque. They say the same thing.
okay,
Preacher, come on, that's right. They always, because it's coming out of Christianity. So you see the tracks of where it come from. And then brother Nasut, phenomenal brother. It was phenomenal to be able to have him on this show. Me and him had a conversation on the show.
yeah, I
And
remember that. I'm gonna have to throw that up too.
yeah, it was good to be able to just talk to the brother. Met him years ago, and then when he got out of jail, and then there was an event over here in St. Louis called the Taste of Africa. He was there. I saw him like, man, hotel brother, like man, you. He said, brother, I thought about you the whole time I was in prison. Man, he's like, man, I only had the chance to know you for a little bit, but you really put an impression on me. So we shook hands. I'm like, man, let me get a picture with you, no problem. So I got a picture with the brother. So really, I was growing up, I wasn't really as photogenic as I am now. Because back in the day, I'm like, I don't want no picture. I realize the value of pictures. So now I'm like, let me take a picture. People like, man, my shirt ain't right on my hair. I don't care about none of that shit. I want to be able
Right,
to get that memory. Because there's a lot of people that we know of that I've been knowing for years don't have not one picture. Now I'm like, let's get a picture. I don't like the mama shot. I don't care what you don't like about what you got on. I gotta snap this picture. Because certain people, I just, even though I understand the whole process of when you transition and all that, it's good to have that picture to be like, even during the Mike Brown protest, I got pictures that no one that has never seen the light of day that I can sit back like I was there. I remember I saw this person. I was there at this thing. When I was part of the Trayvon Martin protest. I got those pictures. The Oscar Grant protest. I was part of that. The Million Man March. I was there. When the minister came in 2013, I was there. So those are things that I can really sit back and look at and just enjoy the fact that I had that moment. Just like I still have a picture of me and Dr. Francis Cresswell, and peace be upon the sister. I got that picture. You know, because I remember I had a voicemail of her when she used to call me. We used to almost talk regularly, me and Dr. Wells, and she would say on the voicemail, peace, brother Metu, this is Dr. Francis Chris Wells again. Just give me a call when you get time. See that like
Hey,
I wish I would.
I never forget this. I don't know if you remember this. I had went to the cigar bar, which I still go from time to time, and I took a picture. And you hit me up. You was like, "Hey, brother, you was at a cigar bar or something?" I was like, "Yeah." You was like, "You know what Dr. Francis Cress Wilson say about cigars, don't you?" I was like, "Nah." You was like, "Hey, don't let nobody take no picture of you with no cigar in your mouth." Do you remember that?
I remember that.
I was like, what? So then I had to find out what she said. I was like, man, that cracked me up till this day. You hear me?
You're right. Yeah, that, and even when you look at the teachings of Dr. Dr. Layla Africa, peace be upon him, he'll break some stuff down. I'm like, whew, like
I remember seeing you in a picture with him too.
I got a picture with him, and I had took a picture with Dr. Richard King, but I don't know where that picture is at. But just the fact that I'm able to talk to people enjoy talking. I remember when me and you first started talking, like when I told you how old I was, you're like, "Nah, man, you can't be that." I'm like, "Yeah."
I couldn't believe it, man.
Like everybody else I know.
Because like we was talking, and I realized I was like 10 or 12 years older than you. And so, and you talking to me about stuff that books that was written before I was born, and you know, books that was written the year I was born. I'm like, I think I called Amari and Queen Mother, like, man, where y'all find this cat, man? Like this dude, like I could not believe it. And then you had so many books, and it was like you had the stuff memorized. I was like, man, this dude. So yeah, man, I remember talking to Nasu while he was still away, and just us anticipating meeting each other, man, and we clicked. I remember spending some time with him. We had me, him, and Usa had went to the holistic store, and he bought me like a pound of sea moss. I'm not Metu, I'm not joking. This dude bought me a pound of sea moss. I forgot something was bothering me, and he was like, man, I'm gonna show you how to make this into like a gel. And he was like, man, just eat you a spoonful a day. Like he was giving me all these tips. He's like, leave that meat alone. Like stop messing with that meat. You know what I'm saying? And me and Usa was looking at him like, man. But he put me on to a lot of health stuff. And you know, with me having bipolar 2 disorder, he was one of the first people that told me like about St. John's wort as a supplement. The lithium supplement as opposed to the prescription lithium. And I'm not advocating for nobody to do these things. I'm just letting you know a lot of people do try to supplement they prescription mood stabilizers with the supplement. I'm not saying that you should consult your doctor, but he did kind of hit me to that as far as like,
what's so interesting about it, I think it was 2 to 3 weeks before he transitioned. He was starting a trucking business. And I had he called me like, man, so I need you to do me a logo. Did him a logo. He's like, man, you cold with that computer game, bro. I'm like, man, I'm doing the best I can with the little I got. He's like, man, you cold. So he paid me to do it. And we just would sit back and he was just like you, just sit back like, man, how this dude know this much information? Because he was like, because I remember the time when he was telling me he was started researching about the credit score thing, on how that worked, and how he increased his credit score. He said, but by me being a felon, he said that I raised my credit score so high to the point to where now that I'm a felon, they still gonna look at me as I got a low credit score. I said, what? He said, yeah. You can have good credit, but if you're a felon, it lowers your credit score. You know,
Speaking of, let's talk about the upcoming election. In your opinion, should we vote for Biden or Trump, or should we stay out of it?
well, for those that didn't know, Russia just sent a ship to Cuba, a missile ship to Cuba, and America's already talking about a draft. So if there is a war, there won't be an election. You know, so but when it comes to I just had to throw that out there because there's some other stuff. There's a real good book by a guy named I forgot the. I'm gonna give you two book references. One of them by a guy named David Icke. It's called Everything You Need to Know, and another book is called let me give you The Fall of America by Elijah Muhammad, and it's another phenomenal book. The name of it is called The Unseen Hand. Once you bathe yourself in that, you'll be like, woo, you know, your calculation, you can see it. Because once you understand the past, you can predict the future in your present. But as it relates to voting, I don't like telling people what to do, but I would just say that's we don't have no dog in that fight. First, they didn't want you to vote, and then they let you vote. Don't count your vote. It's just a bunch of games that they're playing, and it's like, and then a lot of these elections are rigged, and then we hoping for all of this stuff that they told us. Man, it's really, to me personally, it's a waste of time. Just like Dr. Clark said, there was never a march on it was never a march on Washington. It was a march in Washington. There's a difference. He said marching has done nothing but mess up a good pair of shoes. So voting is like, wow.
He say what?
What'd you say?
He say marching ain't do nothing but mess up a good pair of shoes.
Mess up a good pair of shoes. Because what does it do? What is the residual of that? Us getting shot one by one that they took a picture of. It's almost like even doing the Mike Brown thing, you start seeing people get knocked off. It's like, is that the price of going out here trying to stand up for justice? This is a criminal justice system. Brother Malcolm X told us, read the book, but also listen to the lecture, the audio of Malcolm. He did one called Message to the Grassroots. And then you got Dr. Khalid Muhammad. He did one called The Bullet or the Bullet, because he was just extending what Malcolm said, the battle of the bullet. But the whole election thing is like, we are so-called the minorities in this country. We are the minorities, and the Greco-Romans are the majority. No matter what we do as a collective, it won't mean anything because your numbers are too small.
I get that. Let me ask you this, and we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. Do you want to take questions from the chat? You want me to open up the link,
Sure.
or you want?
Oh,
Okay. And second, how do you feel about? We'll do word association. I'll throw out a term or a person, and you tell me your thoughts on them in 3 words or less. So, Dr. Umar Johnson.
Oh boy. I'm gonna go give me another one. Or do you want me to answer that one?
If you don't want to answer, you don't have to.
A clown.
Wow. I did not expect you to say that, bro. Yeah, I really did not expect you to say that.
He's a clown. So yeah.
Okay.
He's a clown.
Don't get me wrong. I agree 100%. I just didn't expect you to agree. I really didn't.
Why did you say that?
I think anybody who scammed the people in the manner that he has deserves that label. And I say that because I've watched not just people from a distance, but people I know, in particular, my aunt, open up a school. Like she purchased the school, she planned it, and she started planning it in February. By April, she had it purchased. By September, that school was open.
I met a guy,
and it's open and functioning right now in St. Louis, Missouri, off of Hanley Road, right between on the border of Berkeley, where I grew up, and Hazelwood, Missouri. And this happened in the same calendar year, and it's been running for about 2-3 years now. She got everything, the whole infrastructure set up. And you mean to tell me this man that had millions of dollars at his disposal in donations, and he don't have a school yet?
look, I met a guy, good dude, good solid brother years ago. And I was talking about some stuff that we need to do as a people and what we need to have. And he was like, brother, if I would have met you last year, I had a building, I would have gave it to you for free. He said, I had so much money doing so much, I would have just gave you a building for free. I had so much stuff, so much real estate. So you can't tell me, ain't nobody came to you and say, look, matter of fact, there is a documentary, as you know, I hate to mention it, but it is what it is. Got this silly dude named Leon Honor did a documentary about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He did a documentary. You would think Umar did it himself. And the way the information that was put out, I'm like, there were actually people that were saying, look, this lady was like, I got land. I would give you I would give you rights to the land for 100 years for free. All I want you to just do your thing on this land. There was, as I said, by me just being a local dude, that just a normal guy, just talking about, man, we need to get a building for this. And the brother said, look, I would have gave you mine. Yes. If I knew you last year, I would have had no problem giving you stuff. Because there's a lot of black people that have stuff. We got cars that we don't want. We got homes we don't want. Especially a lot of elders, they sitting on things. You mean to tell me ain't nobody came to you and said, look, other than you, the money that you have, keep that for maintenance. You don't need, we give this to you for free. I got buildings. There's a lot of elders I know. Got buildings just sitting there. They just paying taxes on it. Even when he came to St. Louis, he always bragged about when he came here to St. Louis crowd came together and gave him over $5,000.
I remember.
And it's like, damn, it's like that shouldn't have. See, the thing about it is, what he should have done was get it to somebody who already had an infrastructure together. See, the reason why I really hated the most about it is because there are legitimate people that have all of their things together. They just don't have the money. To where now people will look at them like you sound just like Umar.
Yeah, and they not a coach personality like he is,
right?
And so they don't get the publicity that he do.
They don't get it right. So that should have been allocated to someone because there are people who's legit.
Think about this, and think about if Baba Seba had the donations that he got. That school would have been built.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. There was a building that Baba Seba has been looking at for some years.
Whoa! It ain't a secret. We live on YouTube.
No, I'm gonna tell you, but I'm not giving you all the details.
Okay.
This brother literally told me. He said, I want this building so bad. He said I was willing to leverage my mortgage to get it. He ready to sell his house to get that building and because that's how sincere he is about doing it. He like, and it's like even me.
And you got cats like, yeah, that's crazy to me, man.
And then what hurts me most is that, as I said, there are legitimate people to where now when they come out to try to get donations, it's gonna make it harder for them because people are like, well, I gave my money to Umar. He didn't do nothing. So now they look suspicious and they don't want. They got their blueprint together. They got their people together. All they need is the money.
Yeah.
So now you make it harder. It's like I'm fine with climbing this mountain, but I don't want you to put bricks in my back.
I got another phrase to throw out to you.
Uh-oh.
Black Hebrew Israelites. 3 words or less.
Oh man. I'm gonna say it like Dr. John Henry Clark said that he was talking about Minister Farrakhan, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He said Farrakhan ain't nothing but a pissed off Baptist preacher. And Hebrew Israel, I would just call them pissed off Christians. They really not trying to nation build. They just rather argue. I don't want to argue because arguing is like somebody put you in a hole and you argue with them for putting you in a hole. All it does is keep you in a hole. We need to get out the hole. We don't need. I know who put us in this hole. I know when they did it, how they did it. I got that part. Let's get out the hole. I don't need to be arguing with you. What did Martin Luther King say? I think I heard from Dr. King said, 2 men in a burning building don't have time to argue. We're looking at all of America. I don't have no time to argue. Either we're gonna do this or not. Because this is the problem with a lot of these religious people, especially the Hebrew Israelites, is that I'm fine with working with them. Their problem is they don't have I have to be a Hebrew for them to work with me. I remember I knew this one Hebrew Israelite. He used to work for a Metro. He was one of those security guards. So one day, I had my uncle on. He saw me. I said, "Shalom, brother." I can't. He put his hand to his side. He didn't want to shake my hand. It was a white guy that came behind me. He shook his hand. "How you doing, sir?" I said, "Why you didn't shake my hand?" He said, "I can't shake your hand because you got on the satanic symbol." I said, "But you shake Satan's hand, though."
But wait a minute. But he shook the. Oh wow!
You shook Satan's hand.
Don't they call him the devil?
Right. You. They say well, some of them. I can't blame all of them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Not all of them. You're right.
There are some because I found out there are some Pan African Hebrew Israelites to understand that. Right?
Hey, it was black Israelites in the original NIUA.
Right. So I'm not saying all, but I know the ones you're talking about. What I'm saying is a lot of them are just like they got this thing of anything about Africa they don't want nothing to do with. So I'll keep my uncle on. But my thing is this: if I say shalom, which means peace, and you say shalom to me, don't come arguing with me. We supposed to come in peace. If I say hotel, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't have time. We don't have the luxury of arguing. We in all out war for our survival.
Got you. Okay. Let's see. I'll make this my second to last one.
Take your time.
Queen Mother Any Teray Aset Akua Kitty Haru.
Phenomenal sister. Strong woman. But what I love about her more is that she's a stereotypical woman, but people gotta understand that she's still feminine. There are a lot of hard women that's not feminine. She's a hard woman that's feminine. She's a feminine woman. And that's the beauty of women. Femininity is power. Femininity is power. If you're a feminine woman, you would get protected without even knowing that you're being protected. Because people be like, man, I want to. But if you coming off as a man, we're gonna treat you like another dude, man. You gotta pick that thing up yourself. See, a lot of women want to act masculine but want to be treated feminine. It don't work that way. And women gotta understand men only know what you tell them. What energy, because I'm like an empath. Whatever energy you give me, I'm gonna give it back to you. So if I'm acting like an asshole, that's because you're acting like an asshole.
Okay. I got one. Your old rival on this very platform, the conscious Christian, Ron Green.
Oh man. Uh you know what? I rock more with nobody. Nobody is a good ass dude. Even though he's a Christian, he's a good. I will rock with
Shout
nobody.
out, shout out.
I will rock with nobody at any time. That's a solid. Even though our ideologies are different, we'll still talk on the phone. But Jerome Green, that dude. Ah,
Oh man, you got smoke for Jerome, man.
look, I didn't say nothing. Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say nothing. I read between the lines.
I got you. I
Yeah,
got you. So some things better left than said. I got
you're right.
you. I got you. So speaking of nobody, uh nobody from Trust and Believe the Gospel.
I enjoy talking to that dude. He a cool dude, cool brother. He's even when I talk to him, he can I can see his concern. He's genuine and yeah, he's cool. I don't have no smoke for him. Real good guy. I mean, I can literally call him on the phone and we would talk. He never be like, man, I ain't finna talk to you. You ain't no Christian, right? He never have no distance. He's real down. I'm like, all right, we might have our little different. We have our differences, but he never bring those up.
Okay, okay. Sarah Sutin Seti.
Ah man. Okay, let me give you some information. I brought him here twice to St. Louis.
I know.
I brought him here twice, and things was kind of cool, But when I started finding out the brother was getting on narcotics, and people was taking pictures of him in bad situations, I'm like, and then now he on his own little channel, and I've been listening to him. I'm like, you just trying to hold on to what used to be, because he was the shit before Sarnetta. It was Sadie all out here by himself. So I remember when I first started hearing him, it was just amazing. Because I'm like, who is this dude? My uncle referred me to him. And this your brother Sarah Sue Sadie, and this is before Sarnetta, because I was supporting Sarnetta when he was going all the way back to his business. His company was called Clear Copy Tapes. He was telling the videotapes and conscious stuff. And Sadie just kind of went downhill. He had twins by a woman. I think he went from relationship to relationships, and now he's disorganized. No, don't nobody really mess with Sadie for real. He's just then he'll say stuff like, "I ain't part of the conscious community," but everything you do caters to the conscious community. Why don't you? If you're not part of the conscious community, why don't you cater to the Negroes on the street? You cater to
Right,
the same people
right,
that you say you ain't a part of.
right. All right. Now this is a tough one, brother. This is a tough one. I gotta admit. DMG the poet, aka Brother Pianki.
I have nothing, man. You my brother, solid dude. You've been A1 since day one.
100.
You're 100 with me, bro. I've been hearing some stuff. We ain't going to that. I've
Right.
heard some
No doubt.
stuff,
No doubt.
but my thing is, unless I hear it from the person's mouth, because you the type of person where I'm like, if I hear it, if I don't hear it from his mouth, really fuck what y'all talking about. That's the kind of respect I have for you. 'Cause I've
Gotcha.
heard things. Because people say shit about me. I've heard people say I'm an agent. I'm like, with what check? Agents get paid. I'm out here broke.
You hear me?
Where's my?
I,
I'm missing a check somewhere. If I'm an agent, who
I
paid
got
me?
one of these nuts on the internet saying I'm an agent, and I'm like, man, if I was an agent, y'all know. Trust
Man,
me.
if I was an agent, I'm telling you, I'll be. I'll be in a whole another bracket. But I do think. But this is the thing. All of my predecessors went through that same ironing board. All of them from Sojourner Truth to Harriet Tubman, Mega Evans, all of us have went through that scrutiny. So why shouldn't I? I said, okay, cool. I'm built for this. I'm cool with that. because those that fall off wasn't on in the first place.
You hear me? Yeah, real
Person
talk.
fall off because of what they heard. They wasn't with you from the beginning. Because it's just like when I look at what Michael Jackson, majority of us grew up with this dude. There is no way this man was going to molest a child. You're going to believe some people that you don't even know. We seen him grow up. We watched this man grow. And you're going to say that, and the CIA was on his ass for years and didn't find shit. But yet you're going to believe some, and then the people that came out about him came out and said, oh, my mom told me to do this. My parents told me to do it. I was just trying to get money.
You know what I always like chafed at about the Michael Jackson allegations, and I could be wrong. You know, I wouldn't know. I don't know. I don't want to, you know, make it seem like I'm in the know or deny anything that happened to a child. But one thing that always kind of stick in my craw when it comes to that is, if somebody violate my child, it ain't no amount of money in the world that's gonna get me to suffer. I want them to be punished. Now, I'm saying that as somebody who would probably handle it a different way. But if I'm the type of person who willing to go through the traditional law and order way that those type of things should be handled, I got to see this thing through to them being punished to the umpteenth degree. It ain't no amount of money you can offer me to let you go free. Now, if we find you innocent, ain't nothing I can do about that. But you ain't selling my soul, and you violated my child.
My thing is this: the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, was all on this man. If they could have found anything, they would have brought it up. Anything. They would have loved to have pounced on that. He said himself, I'd rather slit my wrist than to touch a child.
Hey.
But as I said, we grew up with this dude. Like a lot of us with Pac. His Tupac's mother was a Feeney. His godmother was a Sada. His
stepfather is Matulu.
His stepfather Metu. His godfather Geronimo Pratt. The last thing this man is gonna do is molest a woman.
Come on, man.
I mean, he got people that was in his repertoire, his resume. There's no way that Tupac should. Matter of fact, I've been security guards to a lot of celebrities. Women throw themselves at the security guard, at the dude.
But remember, Pac went to jail for what amounted to touching. So it's nuances to that situation that people don't even realize, because a lot of people run with that narrative that and it's like, y'all don't even know the only reason he remained in jail is because he ain't had the money to get out. That's where Big Suge came in. But that's a whole nother. I got one more word association for you, and then we gonna shut it down.
Let me say this. Tupac, he said himself he was in there for touching ass at a strip club. Who don't touch ass at a strip club? And it's absurd for someone who is the artist that's coming to a club to take pussy. I've been the security guard to a lot of women would throw themselves at the security guard, at the hype man, the person that's coming up before the artist, a ticket booth person. You mean the headliner gotta take ass? It's absurd.
Hey, Metu, me and you ain't never seen the kind of money these individuals seen, and we ain't got to take it from.
But as I'm saying, I've been on a low level when it comes to being at these events. I've been they thrown themselves at the security guy. They throw themselves at the guy that's selling the ticket. But
again, I want to preface this with we not in any way saying that, you know, we want to victim shame or diminish any woman who says she's been violated by anybody. Even my man, y'all know, hey, Pac is my guy. But I don't care, you know, what the situation is. We not diminishing the situations where those things occurred. We just giving our opinions on one particular instance, and again, it's our opinion. We don't know the facts.
Right, but it's that certain people that we know. Like, for an example, if some white woman was to say, Amari Sneffer raped me, I know that I'll put my life on the line that brother didn't do that.
Yeah, now I'd be hard pressed to believe Baba Seba, but we know him in a way that most people don't. Speaking of Baba Seba, that's my last word association. The great Baba Seba, Amari Sneffer.
I call it brother genuine. He's a genuine dude. He's a hard. He really wants us to get our stuff together. I mean, seriously, he's like, this work. Put this, like what you always say. Let's put this work in. The brother is serious about getting.
What do you always say? Come get this work.
Just come get this work, man. Because even the Bible says the crops are plentiful, but the laborers are few. Even our brother Khalid Muhammad, he said, I would love to sit back and not do anything and not have to talk. But who else gonna do it? Who gonna put this work in if I just sit back and say, you know what? Let me just focus on my family and getting off. It's gonna fall apart. Even with Negroes today, you can be teaching for 30 years. Look at our people now. Just like for an example, Dr. Ben, been teaching for over 50 years, brother. When he transitioned, his family is still Catholic. Some folk, you just gotta leave them where they are. I've been wanting to give up every day. I'm like, man, I can't keep doing this. But who else gonna do it? I don't like reading. People don't know that. I don't like reading. Who gonna read this information?
I kick you off this show, man. Talking about you don't like reading. All these books you done quoted to me over the last
who gonna read it
4 or 5 years.
Who gonna read for me? I gotta do it. See, that's what discipline means. Discipline means you do what you want to do, whether you want to do it or not. You got to do it regardless. So I do it so that matter of fact, I do what I do to make it easy on other brothers and sisters. Like I already read the book. You don't got like with Jay-Z. He said everything I've said I was gonna do, I've done it. Just look at the blueprint. I've done it. All the mistakes y'all going to make, I already made them. I took the blow for when you are the vanguard of anything, you're gonna be the first one to take the arrows. We take the arrows so other people can go through and walk through. But Amari Sneffer, he's a good brother. He maybe misunderstood, but he's genuine.
No doubt. Let the people know where they can find you, man. If you got anything going on social media, Twitter, X, whatever it's being called now.
Well, you can
social media. If you're gonna be coming back over here, let them know. Let them know where they can find you, where they can lectures, all of that good stuff. Let them know how to contact you for anything they need graphics wise.
Okay. Well, everybody can contact me anytime on Facebook. I call it Facebook, but Facebook at Metu Jallow, METU JALLOW, or you can reach him on my other one as Metu Hotel, METU HOTEP Jallow JALLOW. You can call me, text me, have any questions, we can go back and forth on that. You don't have to worry about emailing me. I'm always available on Facebook.
Man, so hey man, it's been an honor and a pleasure to rap with you on the platform again. I definitely gotta have you back on. I think it been over 2 years, I want to say, since you've been on the platform.
Yeah,
it gotta
be. if you got to interview me with somebody else, I'm fine, man. I'm just because really I just been working on me. Because just like I told you during the pandemic, I had got a lump sum of money. Told you about I was in the best economic situation I've ever been in. But I'm giving us so many. But by you being an older brother, you understand. Like, man, don't do that. I didn't know.
Right.
Mistakes happen, but the biggest thing I learned in 2020 is you can't expect you out of people. I was helping so many people, putting people on and doing this, that, and that. Only thing was I couldn't leave because you couldn't leave America until I couldn't go where I wanted to go until December of 2020. But by that time, it's a whole bunch, a series of unfortunate events. But I'm back. I'm black, and I'm with you. I love the, and it was interesting when I saw that intro. It looks different from my perspective. I'm like, I did that. Like I knew what it takes to make all those things pop.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. And like I say, man, I'm looking forward to having you back on, having you and Jerome Green overdue for another class. You know what I mean? So
If you're gonna put me on with Jerome, I gotta have somebody else. I can't deal with him by myself. I'm gonna have to have Baba Seba, Maury Sneffer with me.
or maybe it may be time for some new conversations. There's a lot of new people on the platform, so and it don't necessarily have to be a one-on-one conversation. It could just be a build because it's plenty of conversations I want to have. I want to have a build on: is there really a such thing as black supremacy? And that's one of Jerome big. Well, I ain't gonna say it's a big talking point of his, but I know it's one of his things, and it's one of the things that I kind of struggle with because I understand it's rhetoric out there where people could probably categorize it that way, but I don't know if it's a actual thing because I ain't never seen us go in people's house and snatch them out. And you understand what I'm saying?
Really, there is no such thing as black supremacy. First of all, we got to look at the word supremacy. It means there is no other. So if there is a white supremacy, there is no black supremacy. The supremacy means there is no other. You can't have those two together. Even when they talk about black racism ain't nothing but name calling. This black guy called me nigger.
Yeah. And like reverse, is it such like reverse racism? All these different terms. So I'm gonna have some bills on that, and I just want that to be a panel of different, people with different perspectives. So I love to have you on one of them. I love to have you just come on and do your own show, like do a follow, like you said, do a paradigm shift version of what you did with that new math. Shout out to my man, the new Kakarot. I didn't even realize y'all knew each other when I first met him. When I went to get tattoos from him. I don't even know if I knew y'all knew each other yet.
Yeah, Kakarot. I've been knowing Kakarot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get us to talking, we've been knowing each other for years. For years, brother. Yeah,
that's why I ain't finna let him on because I know we'll be on here another 3 hours.
That's my brother.
I have to get him the admin and let him shut it down.
Yeah, because what it is that a lot of times he'll say some stuff to people that'll piss them off, and then they'll be like, Metu, you heard what he said? I'm like, whatever he said, I'm with him. Whatever he say, I'm with him. Whatever you agree with what he said, whatever he said, I'm with him. And that's what they hate about it. People stop messing with me because I mess with them. Man, I can't fuck with you. You mess with Kakarot. I'm like, well, it is what it is.
So tell me this, man, before we go. What is it about my man, the new Kakarot and Naga, that gets people so worked up?
Because he got receipts. This brother got receipts, and he know what he's talking about, and he's passionate about it. This brother I've seen him just take time out of his whole day to babysit someone getting there for me. He'll just go all. I'm like, damn. I go back 100 comments. I'm like, boy. I ain't got the energy, but that's what he do. That's him. Because he'll sit back and he'll go back and forth with you. Some people think he'll be an into it. He is not gonna stop.
Yeah, and I got some. I hope he ain't forgot, but I got something coming up with him and his crew on how to revitalize the conscious community. I think that's gonna be a dope show. So
Yeah, Kakarot know he know exactly who I am. You know, we
matter of fact, you might need to hop on that show.
all right. Yeah,
Link, get with him and let him fill you in on what he talking about, because I think that's a dope idea. What he talking
I love the brother. Me and him, I've been with. It's so much to say about the brother. That's why, like, I love the fact that I got a picture with you. I don't know if you remember. I got a picture with you. It's me and you standing up. I've been knowing Kakarot for years. I don't got not one picture with the brother, so I got to get a picture with him.
we gonna have to meet up at Seba, the three of us, one of these first Sundays, man.
Oh yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
so he ain't nothing to play with, but people try to play with him. I was like, don't play with this dude.
Yeah, we gonna have to link up. I'm gonna have to get that together, man. Go to one of them Nigerian spots on Grand.
See, what people don't know is that if you pick a fight with him, he's not the one to pick a fight. He will stop his whole day to fuck with you.
Yeah, I know a lot of people on YouTube who know that. I know a lot of people on YouTube who know that. Trust me.
Okay.
Trust me. So yeah, man, we're gonna get out of here. But before we do, y'all know this Saturday, what is that, the 29th, if I'm not mistaken?
Time rolling.
We got, yeah, man, it's about to be July. But we got the Battle of the Ideologies. We got the tournament. We got our mans in them. Pan-African, Pandemus African, and we got my man J Fax. It's the first round of the Versus Series tournament. Now, you know, if you've been following the channel, you know that these two have gotten into a rivalry that I think is really one of the driving forces of this whole tournament. These brothers been going back and forth like you wouldn't believe. It seemed like as soon as the Naga debate was over, these two kicked into high gear and they ain't let their foot off the pedal since. And it's all gonna culminate in this debate. One of these brothers is gonna move on. The other one may move on and they may not. They will be left, their fate will be left to the top seed, the one and only Zion, the Lion. But if you win, you move on automatically. If you lose, Zion may pick you, he may not. And that's what you don't want to happen. But we're going to see, because this Saturday, it's going down. And I got to say, I really, like, I had J Fax taking the whole thing. But then I found out he was facing Pan in the first round. And I'm like, oh, man. So now it's kind of, I'm sticking to my prediction. I feel like J Fax got it, but Pandemus African is he ain't no joke. So it's gonna be a good one. We got the judges ready. I'm ready. The Craigs is ready. My man Darian ready. It's the Battle of the Ideologies Versus Series tournament. The first ever Paradigm Shift TV 314 champion will be crowned. The runner-up will be the Paradigm Shift TV 314 YouTube champion. We crowning 2 champions that night. The winner of the overall tournament will walk away with $300 cash and this pristine world. I understand. This is what it is. I love it. Be indifferent to it. somebody going home, they fate will be in the hands of the top seed, and somebody is moving on up. Who that's going to be? Don't know. It's going to be a hell of a debate. You're going to find out the results on I got to check with my man because I don't know if we're going to do a 24-hour turnaround where we had that post show on Sunday or if we're going to do it on Monday. We might have to get a judge's a day to vote. I think we might do that post show on Monday. So y'all will find out the results of Saturday's debate on Monday. It may be Sunday, though. I got to check with my man, Ratchet. Y'all know I be extracurricular activities that take my memory. So just keep in mind, you may find out the results, the judge's decision Sunday. You may find out Monday. Either way, it won't be any later than Monday evening. The suspense will kill me. I know it's going to kill y'all. But you will find out no later than Monday evening. It's going to be a tough one. I don't know who to say got this one. Hey, Metu, hopefully you'll be tuned in, man. And it's going to be a powerful one, bro. I hope you're going to be tuned in to this one.
I do my best, my brother.
All right, man. So with that being said, family, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get up out of here. I'm going to leave you with the one and only. Y'all know who it is, Neo Love. But before we do, let me show y'all this nice intro this brother put together for me one more time so y'all can contact him or contact me to get his info.
Shim him a hotel family.
And check this out.
Jallow.
My brother did. I told the brother what I wanted. Within 2 minutes, I had this in my inbox. So
that's what everything you asked me for. You don't say that for all of them. For every logo, it don't take long.
Real talk. Oh, hey, and them color logos, I forgot to tell you, man. I need a white one too.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna get that on the hat. So yeah, if you can do one in white, that's the last one I need. Is one in white.
All right, cool. Shim him hotel for everybody. Just your brother Metu Jallow.
That's peace. Y'all come back and support my brother. He gonna be back. He is back on Paradigm Shift. Nobody from Trust and Believe in the Gospel in the chat. He said peace. Check out this intro my brother made, and then we're gonna take y'all out of here with Neo Love. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your brother, the infamous DMG, the HNIC, and we'll be black at it again, family. Y'all come on back. Till then, that's peace.
Paradigm Shift TV 314. DMG the poet. The best. Trust me. Any type of knowledge you need, anything you want to see, check them out. Paradigm Shift TV 314. Peace.
Hey, look. Labels blowing up my line and got me missing calls. Told her you ain't gotta hit me till you licking. Feel like Xavier, baby, I be cooler than the mink weather. Make a Coke bottle, give me brains till I think better. Back up on my again, hanging out with Benjamin. Franklin got me stankin' in the Lincoln, talking dividends. Look at what we did again. Brought the
Yeah. I know I got about 30 seconds to make y'all feel this before y'all turn it off these days. That I might not even release this. But I be doing this shit for me, help me get through. I feel like I give until I can't, but most don't recognize it till I ain't. Blood on them covers, she hoping paint. Sorry mama, but it ain't. This world took a toll on me, and everyone that say they love me always seem to fall on me. The same one that call me great, treat me like I ain't shit. I read between the lines, it's written all over your eyes. I see the disappointment in the eyes of the ones who want me dead, but I ain't never been scared. I tried to get there. Sometimes I wonder if I survived or did I die on that ride to that hospital.